Today, let's talk about some of the ups and downs of buying a house in Seminole Heights. Here we go. I'm Sam, and thanks for stopping by the Living in Tampa channel, where we make videos about what it's like to live and move to Tampa. If that's something you want to follow along with, don't forget to subscribe down below. We're also a team of real estate agents, so if you have any real estate needs, we would love to be your first call. You can call, text, email anytime. All the info is down in the description and right there on the screen. Today I'm in Seminole Heights checking out a place for a client that's moving here from California. And Seminole Heights is probably the coolest place to live in Tampa. There's some spots in South Tampa that are just as cool, maybe cooler, but quite a bit more expensive. Today I want to share the story of my clients that I'm helping right now and see if why they're choosing Seminole Heights would help you choose it or not choose it. So let's start by talking about how these clients came upon Seminole Heights. So these clients I'm helping, Guillermo and Yadira, are moving from California, and they want to be in this kind of unique mixture of places. And they really have 4 factors of the reasons why Seminole Heights is right for them. Number 1, they want this kind of old charming vibe that really is consistent here. And as we talked and all through different ideas they had, different things they liked, I learned that this vibe was important to them, and it came up as we joked about, putting an Airstream in the yard to rent it out, or as they told me about their boat, which is a vintage Boston whaler that they restored. They like this kind of quirky, old, charming vibe. And it was only through talking for like an hour that we were really able to understand what it was they loved about Seminole Heights. So number 1 was they like the vibe. That was important to them. Number 2, they want something with some income potential. So this house that we're looking at for them has a mother-in-law suite. So there's like a carport in the backyard and then a little tiny efficiency apartment, like really tiny, like 200 square feet, maybe even smaller. It's just a room with a fridge and a little bit of a kitchen and a 3/4 bath. So like a bathroom with a shower. And those are kind of common in this area. And if that didn't exist, what they wanted was the ability to build something easily. Obviously they still need permits, they still need things like that. But this area, the Seminole Heights area, is very easy to add what are called ADUs, accessory dwelling units. This just means another building on your property that you can rent out to somebody else. HOAs usually don't allow these. New construction, there's usually not enough room. All kinds of areas just kind of frown upon this. You really have to have no HOA, no deed restrictions, and lots big enough to where you're not like encroaching on like the setbacks of your property line, things like that. So this house is built in a double lot, and the house is kind of right on the line. It's actually 4 feet from one of the lot lines. So you can't really like subdivide it and sell the other lot, but you could easily use the other lot to build something else. And since there's no deed restrictions, you could create a really cool like Airstream rental in your backyard with like a cool fire pit out in front and have a really unique kind of Airbnb experience. So that was number 2. They wanted the potential for additional income on their property. Now, whether that already has it or they have the potential to add it, that was important. Number 3 is they needed a place for their boat. So they needed a lot big enough to where they could keep their boat on the trailer, have it here, pretty easy to get in and out, not too cumbersome, and they could just kind of store it here. And they're still kind of in the midst of restoring it. They've got a bit more paint to do. They really like this thing. So having it here on the property was really important to them. And then finally, it was really important to them to be in an area that was close to pretty cool events, food, things like that. Mostly food, let's be honest. That's what we all want to be close to, is really good food. And Seminole Heights is really unique in that way. There's a lot of really good places, whether it's high-end kind of tasting menu style places like Rooster and the Till, or it's like really good ramen at Ichiro. Like there's really cool places in Seminole Heights, and there is like a lot of culture around these places in this community. It surprises me the average age in Seminole Heights is like 39 years old, which is really, really young. And you might think, oh, it's a city, it's the middle of the city, that's normal. That's not very common throughout the rest of Tampa. The average age is closer to 55 or so. As you go down further south into like Sarasota, the average age gets up higher, maybe more what you expect with like Florida retiree towns. Tampa is getting younger, but Seminole Heights is the young spot in Tampa. So this house that I'm checking out for them is like a really old house, at least 100 years old, has all kinds of cool details to it, and has these huge windows. It's on a really big lot, has big mature trees, has cool like fireplace and built-ins, like stuff like that. Original hardwood floors. But the compromises you make are like small closets. Like this room feels like the master, but doesn't have much of a closet. It really just has a small cedar closet. Another thing you compromise is just like tiny bathroom. Like this 3-bedroom house has one normal sized bathroom, like just a very typical bathroom. Some of the things you really get in a place like this is some charm. You get a lot of charm. Sorry, it's echoey in here. But like, look at these big windows in this 1 bedroom. This room has more closet space and just is so like beautiful. I love big windows, a lot of light coming into a house. I love that. You also sacrifice on the kitchens. So this kitchen opens into the other room. You see right here, it opens into this other room, but it feels a little crowded. Now, it's a pretty usable kitchen. You could cook some great meals in here, have a great time. But because it's in this little house, it just feels a little crammed in here. Like, look how the fridge just kind of sticks out into the room a little bit. It's kind of confusing. But where else are you gonna put a fridge? And then right here is like the air handler. So like, where else is that gonna go in an old house like this? All those are compromises you end up making in an old, cool house like this. This house does have a nice big lot. You're gonna get a lot more of that in this area. And it's just like charming neighborhood. It's really quiet this time of day. And a cool old house. Now, maybe you don't like old houses. I know plenty of people that just don't love old stuff. If you don't like old houses, Seminole Heights is probably not the best. One of my favorite parts about this area, similar to St. Petersburg, the people that live in these areas really, really like them. And the neighbor we have like over here just like really like restoring their siding, original old siding. It's really cool. This place that I'm showing these clients, the owner has owned it for 20 years. They lived here for 4 years and then moved to South Tampa and rented it out for the past 16 years. So they've just been holding it. The reality is everyone chooses the places they love for different reasons. And we would love a chance to talk to you about those reasons. So really reach out to us, call, text, email. If you're thinking about moving, even if it's a year out, we would love to find out what your 4 things are. Everybody has about 4 things that they really care about that are the deal breakers for them. I really enjoy making these videos talking about how someone else is like thinking of their criteria of how to choose a place. I would love to hear if you guys enjoy these too. Another one I did, we'll link right above here, Odessa. I was talking about Garrett and Kristen and why they chose Odessa as the right place for them. Check that one out if you haven't seen it already. And as always, thanks for coming by.